Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to my educational channel, that is Hospitality Education PPT. Today, we have the privilege of delving into the art of fine dining, a skill that transcends mere sustenance and transform meals into memorable experiences. Whether you are a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, understanding the nuance of fine dining can set you apart. Question is, why so? And the justification will be, having good dining etiquette establishes your credibility and reputation. It shows that you are polished, respectful, and attentive to details. Proper dining manners make you an accepted member of business groups. People notice you, how you handle yourself during the meals, and it reflects on your professionalism. Knowing dining etiquette boosts your self-confidence, and when you navigate a formal dinner with ease, you feel more comfortable in professional settings. Every business meal, please remember, is an opportunity to make a positive impression on your clients, on your surroundings, about you. So, before going for any business formal dinner, definitely you should pay attention to the details. In this particular session, we are going to discuss in detail about the dining etiquette. Whenever you will be there in such situation, how it should be followed, and try to develop this habit in you. Many of us know something about it, that I cannot deny. However, in most of the cases, people are sometimes confused that what is to be done with so many things in a restaurant situation. So let us unearth and discuss about the dining etiquette from different angle in this 40 minutes of journey, that is our session limit is. So I welcome you all to the channel, which is a classroom beyond your classroom, and this session is meant for every professionals and budding professionals. Very first thing will come in our mind, that what is etiquette and why is it important? Let us try to put some light on it. Etiquette can be mentioned in different ways. Right now you have seen on your screen, it can be a rule of conduct, code of conduct, your social conduct, your personal conduct, the protocol. In multiple ways it can be explained, the word etiquette. But how the word has come? The word etiquette originally comes from the French word estique, which means to stick or attach. It is a set of behavioral manners and rules in a social environment that is accepted as gracious. And also, it is to display discipline and poise. Having good etiquette is one of the most seen traits of the successful men. So that is why the word etiquette is very common in our life, in every sphere of our life. Let us start with the word greetings. Normally, whenever we meet another person, we greet each other. In a professional environment, formal environment, how it should be done, let us discuss that as well. When you are meeting someone, raise or rise if you are seated. So stand up from your seat and then greet. Smile and extend your hand. Mind that it will happen very naturally. Just get up, smile and extend your hand for a handshake. Repeat the other person's name in your greeting. So it is very important and essential to remember the name of the other person. A good handshake is important. It should be firm and held for 3 to 4 seconds. And we can also precisely say that 3 to 4 pumps up and down. There are different styles of handshaking. Right now the image you can see on your screen, it is the most professional way of shaking hands with another person. So remember this style. In the today's business world, it is not necessary to wait for a female to initiate the handshake. So never feel shy or hesitated. Go ahead. Females and males should both be ready to initiate the handshake. So that is some area is clarified out here how we are going to greet each other. Now about the name tag. The name tag should be placed on the right hand side of your front shoulder area. You heard it correct? That right hand side of your front shoulder area. Why it is on right hand side? The logic is when shaking hands, it allows for a natural progression for the eyes to the name tag. Just try to imagine that whenever you are extending your right hand for shaking the hands with other person, obviously your right shoulder is coming nearer to the right shoulder of the other person you are greeting. And our obvious eye will be there on the right hand side chest area where the name tag is placed. So that is the most focal area where the name tag will be placed so that we can read each other's name. Introduce yourself by saying your full name and your role or affiliation. Remember that. Never say I'm Bond, James Bond type of thing. You always say what is your full name and your affiliation and your role in the company. And a small image is given out here. Two female are greeting each other, and while greeting each other, their conversation, please note it down. The first one is saying that, hello, I am Julia Smith, the marketing manager of ABC Group. Then the other lady is saying, it's a pleasure to meet you, Julia. I am Rena Brown, a student of XYZ University. So that is the way your conversation will begin. Now, whenever you are there in a restaurant and for a formal dinner, there are different kind of settings are available. One is known as a formal setting, very formal situations. Here you can see in the image there are lot many flatwares and your glasswares are there placed properly in different areas with their notification given. And here the sample menu we have taken as 6-course menu where appetizer, soup, salad, a starch, a protein and dessert is to be served. And accordingly the placement of the flatware and silver glassware are placed. You can see it is very detailed. And another one option is the casual one. Here you can see that in the casual one the setup is much simpler than the previous. We have taken here as instead of 3-course menu, 6-course menu, we have taken a 3-course menu. And it is very simplest way of presenting a casual table setup in a restaurant. Next, proceed to the next. Now, style of dining. As you can see on your screen, that is American style of dining. Obviously, there is another one style which is known as the European or continental style of dining. Let us first clarify about the American style of dining. You can see that place the fork in your left hand, tines down and handle hidden, and knife in your right hand. Here you can see that how the placement is there, you can see, and it will be much more clearer from the second point. Normally what we do, that cut one piece of food at a time in American style. Never cut the food into multiple pieces. And once it is cut one pieces, you see the location of the knife. Lay knife across top of plate, serrated edge facing towards you. Now once you have cut the portion into one portion, chewable or biteable, that knife will go back to the top and your serrated side will be towards you. Then you transfer the fork to right hand to actually eat. So in American style, first we are holding the fork in the left hand, knife in the right hand, cutting the food into small piece, and then putting the knife on the top part of the plate as it is shown in the figure, with the serrated or the cutting edge towards you, facing towards you, and then transfer the fork from the left hand to the right hand and then start consuming. Now, in between, if you require to take some rest, then there is a guideline in American style. Taking a break and resting positions. You can see the image of the resting positions of your fork, and knife is there on top. Here the fork is here and knife is there on top. And the explanation is, if you need to pause during the meal, maybe you would like to sip of water, that may be because of many reasons, or need to blot your mouth with your napkin, you will need to place your utensils in resting positions on the plate to indicate your pause, so that how you are placing your utensils on the plate, that will give the clear indication to the waiting staff. How it is to be placed? With your knife already resting at the top of your plate, especially in American style, place your fork in the 4 o'clock positions on the plate. Like this is one of the 4 o'clock positions. Your knife is already there because already you have cut a piece out of your dish, the product you are consuming. The knife is resting on top. You can clearly here see the serrated knife sides or the cutting edge is facing towards you. And this fork will be now placed in a 4 o'clock position. So that will indicate that you are under resting for a short while. This tells the server that you are not finished with your meal and he should not remove your plate. That's the indication. You are passing a message by placing your fork like this in American style. Now once you have finished, then what will be your meal close positions? When you are ready for your plate to be removed from the table, there is a utensil placement and that signals this as well. And how that is a signal? With your fork in a 4 o'clock positions, just move your knife down to meet it and see the image. Earlier this knife was there on top. Now your fork is here in a 4 o'clock positions and bringing the knife down besides your fork and resting in the parallel position of the fork. That is the indication. This is the close-out position for American style of dining. And your waiting staff will get the indication that you are finished. Please note that placing the knife and fork parallel in a 6:30 o'clock positions is also acceptable. Once these two things are just placed in a 6:30 position, 6:30 o'clock positions, then definitely there is also another style adopted in American style, that will give the same indication that it is a finished position. So either or you can follow. Remember, most left-handed individuals choose to make a simple modification of the system. They will change it automatically according to their dominant hand. Now we are coming to the European style of dining. Follow step 1 of American style. That means position of your fork will be in your left hand, knife will be there in your right hand. That is same in both the cases. Leave your knife and fork in same position as step 1. Take bite with fork in left hand and place food in mouth with tying face down. You can see here how the fork is placed with your left hand and how the knife is placed within your right hand, and the tying of the front part of your fork, that is actually down, not upward. European style resting and finishing positions. Although you do not have to set down your knife between bites, because in European style normally we eat with the left hand. With the fork, prick the food portion already have cut with the knife and then put it inside your mouth with your left hand only. So keeping that point in mind, you do not have to set down your knife between bites. There are times when it is proper etiquette to put down and rest your knife and fork on the plate. This is when you plan to take a sip of your drink or take a bite of your dinner roll or bread. Then only required to put both the things there on the plate. And this is the image. How you place? Simply place the knife toward the center of the plate with your fork resting on top of the blade of the knife upside down. You look at the image. Knife is placed flat. On top of that, the fork is placed where the tines are down. The fork is also upside down. This is the way it is showing a resting position. Now if you are finished with the meal, set both the knife and fork centered and angled to the right of your plate, not necessarily overlapping. You look at the image. This is the image of closing positions. This will send an unspoken code to the waiting staff or host that you are either resting between bites or you are finished with your meal. So here are two images. First one, this one is indicating that you are in a resting position, and the second one is showing that it is a signal that it is in a closing positions of your meal. Accordingly, your host or the waiting staff will get the signal out of it. Fine. Let us move to the next. Some do's for dining with utensils. What is to be done and what is not to be done. So let us first discuss what is to be done. We need to be acquainted with the situation. Suddenly, if you enter to a formal dining place, you may be confused about so much of settings on the table. So begin by familiarizing yourself with the correct placement of utensils on the table. You should know. And here the image is talking about some placements of the utensils there. First one, forks are typically placed on the left side while knives and spoons are on the right side. So you can see your left hand side is a fork and right hand side is a knife and spoons. The dessert spoon and fork are usually found on the top of the plate, and here you can see Here dessert spoon. For sweet, you need to place the spoon and fork like this. Remember to work from the outside in. And what is the rule? Start with the utensils placed farthest from the plate for the first course and progress inward as each new course arrives. So whenever you are sitting in these positions and first course will be served to you and you are going to use this spoon. Then the next course this knife and this fork. And then this knife and this fork. So it will start from outside and slowly it will come towards your plate. That's the progression. You should remember. So use the extreme end knife and fork or the spoon and then accordingly go towards your plate as the course progresses. So remember this rule. Holding the cutlery, already we have mentioned that. Now we are going to explain this. How to hold? Hold the knife with your dominant hand. Maybe you are left-handed or right-handed. So with the dominant hand, gripping it firmly but not too tightly. And how to do that? Your index finger should be along the back of the handle. You can see in both the cases, along the back of the handle, your index finger are visible, while the thumb rests on the sides and the thumb and other things on the sides. Hold the fork with your non-dominant hand, using your index finger to guide it. The handle should rest between the thumb and the index finger, and the other finger should lightly grasp the handle. You can see this, how the knife is holded out here and how the fork is holded out here. Fork is always in the non-dominant hand, knife is in the dominant hand because you need to cut the food into smaller pieces. So you should have a better grip, better control with the knife. That's why it is always in your dominant hand. Now there are some cell phone protocols because you are in the modern world and we cannot think ourselves without a cell phone. And what is to be done with the cell phone during a formal dinner, that we are going to discuss out here. First is turn off your cell phone or switch it to silent or vibrate mode before sitting down to eat. It's a very good habit. You must develop this. Leave it in your pocket or purse. Do not place it in the table. Please do remember this. You are not going to place the cell phone on the table where you are going to dine. That is a bad etiquette. You should avoid that and stop doing it in future. It is impolite to answer a phone during dinner. You can see the image. How the man is behaving with the phone and how the lady is behaving. So this is not the right situation created. So this is a big no in a fine dining situation. That is about the cell phone. Now, if you must make or take a call, it may be emergency, excuse yourself from the table and step outside of the restaurant. Please do that. You take excuses, take the phone, go out of the dining hall and somewhere you talk, complete it, then come back. That's the rule. Some more do's with the cutlery. Begin using cutlery from outside. We have already discussed, and work your way in as each course is served. That already we have discussed. That is a general rule. When using a knife and fork together, use the knife to cut small manageable pieces of food and then switch the fork to your dominant hand to eat. Not necessarily you have to eat with the left hand only. You can change it to your dominant hand and then consume. When not in use, rest your utensils on the plate. As we have discussed already in both the styles, American and European or continental style. Do not place them on the tablecloth or use them to gesture while speaking. So never take a spoon or fork in your hand and you are talking to your client or partner or the diners, those who are dining with you. Never do jugglery with that. Rest it on your plate and then talk. Already you know how to rest it. About the napkin, it is very important. Place the napkin on your lap immediately upon sitting down. So whenever you take your seat, your please first job is to take out the napkin and nicely place it on your lap. Naturally, you should never tuck a dinner napkin into the top of your shirt. I have seen in many occasions people, they make themselves very odd. They are putting the napkin inside their shirt and on top of that it is visible. It is how odd they look at. So never do that. It should be nicely laid on your laptop. How to use it to dab your mouth or fingers discreetly throughout the meal. Only to dab your mouth or fingers, but not beyond that. At the end of the meal, leave the napkin loosely folded to the left of your plate. Whenever you are through with the meal, loosely fold it and put it on the left hand side on the plate. If you need to leave the table during the meal, it may happen sometimes. Place the napkin on your chair and slide the chair under the table. So that's the indication that you have gone out for a moment for some work. Maybe you are in the washroom, maybe you are there for taking a call through your cell phone. So always place the napkin on your table and on your chair and place the chair under the table inside. Then you leave. These are the decorum to be maintained, to be done. Now how your postures and elbow, how they will speak. You can see the image. Sit straight and try not to lean on the table. So like it is shown in the image, you are going to sit accordingly. Keep your elbows off the table and close to the body when you are eating. You can see in this image that how nicely they have placed their hand closely to their body and then they are having the food. However, when you stop to talk, it is okay to rest your elbow on the table and lean forward. When you stop to talk, that means stop eating to talk. Remember that line. Then this is your way to do. Then you can rest your elbow on the table and you can slightly lean forward and talk with the gentleman or whoever your associates are there. So this is the way your posture should be and your elbow position should be. If iced tea is served, remember, don't chew the ice. It will create some noise. Cup hand around the lemon wedge. So indicate the lemon wedge is the indicator. Use moderate amount of sweetener. Normally when iced tea is served, different kind of sweetener is served in front of you. So don't add so much of sweetener that is very awkward to look at. So be legitimate, be calculative and use little bit and then accordingly you are going to be used. Now the point is how to manage a soup. Very critical. First of all, the setup is like this. Here in this image, a soup is served on a service plate. Soup bowl is there. This is a soup spoon, and that guest is holding it very nicely within our 3 fingers. Like this. This is the way actually it should be held. What are the guidelines? The soup spoon is usually the largest spoon on the right side of your plate and farthest from your plate actually on the right hand side. So that is the soup spoon. If you are unable to identify, this is a rule will help you to identify this is a soup spoon to be used for your soup. Hold the spoon with thumb across the top of the handle as it is shown in the image. That is the right way of holding it. Not with handle in palm of your hand. But this is not the right way to hold the soup spoon. Remember this. Take soup spoon away from you rather than toward you. Now how to take the spoon, how to pick up the soup or scoop the soup from the soup bowl in a spoon, that should be always away from you so that the dripping can be stopped. Dripping will be all in between inside the plate or the soup bowl, not on you. So that is the way you should take a scoop of the spoon along with the soup away from you in the soup bowl and then sip from the side of the spoon, not front. You are going to sip it from the side of the spoon, not front, and never lean. You bring the spoon towards nearer to your mouth and lip and then consume from the side of the spoon, not leaning down absolutely on soup and then consuming it. Remember that. Many times the crackers are served along with the soup, and whenever you are at home, you can follow any rule as per your style. But whenever you are in a formal positions, if oyster crackers are served, it will be always there in the soup, in the chowder, along with the chowder soup. The oyster crackers are served, that will be placed in the soup itself. You can consume directly from there. Other crackers should be eaten with soup, not in soup. You are not going to put them into the soup and consume. It will be taken with the left hand and then consume with the soup. Once the soup is consumed, where to rest? Rest soup spoon in cup or bowl itself. Soup spoon finish position to right on service plate. That means this is your service plate. On the right hand side of that you can place the spoon once it is consumed. If there is no service plate, spoon should remain in cup with handle to the right. If there is no service plate given, only the soup bowl is given, then you put the spoon back in the bowl or in the cup and the handle of the spoon should be to the right hand side. That you should remember. How to manage the bread? Bread can be served in different ways. You can see the images. It can be sliced bread in a basket. It can be bread rolls. And there are certain guidelines as well. Use your fingers to remove bread from the serving plate. Nothing else. Use your finger to remove the bread from the serving plate. When a bread and butter plate is on the table, use it approximately and appropriately. Not approximately, appropriately. What is that appropriate? That means whenever bread and butter plate is there, you can see you remove some butter with the butter knife is given, a butter spoon is given over there, butter knife is given over there, and put that amount on your side plate and put the butter knife back in the butter plate. You are not going to use the same butter knife for applying it on your bread. Remember that. So what you are going to do, remove some part of butter from the butter plate by using the butter knife provided there, and use that, put that butter on your side plate on the sides and put the butter knife back, because already you have given one butter knife on your side plate and side knife is there. Break slices of bread, rolls and muffin in half or in small pieces, never larger than one bite. Remember, we are not going to cut it with the knife. Break it with your hand only into multiple pieces, not larger than one bite. Butter each bite at a time. So you pick up one small portion, already you have cut, and then apply butter into that with your knife given over there, and then put it in your mouth at a time. Small biscuits do not have to be broken. Remember that. It is never appropriate to cut a roll with a knife. I've seen this, it happens actually in practical life. Sometimes you are having no clue, use your knife and start cutting on the side plate, the roll. Never to be done. When the rolls are served in a basket, take one and always pass the basket towards your right. So many times the basket will be served with the bread rolls. Then you pick up one, put it on your side plate, and then pass the basket towards your right. Remember the direction, towards your right. Place the roll on the bread plate, which is located on the left hand side as I have mentioned. Never tear your roll in half or into many pieces. In case of roll, we'll apply and give a small bite every time whenever you are consuming. So never cut the roll. Use your own butter knife and the butter on your plate. Buttering should be done on the plate or just above it. You got this point. It's not that you bringing the bread and taking a butter and put it on your main plate and on top of that you are buttering. So take a piece of bread or the loaf, especially the bread, pick it up, use your butter knife, pick up little butter and then apply. Already you have removed the butter for your own consumption. So from there you apply and then put it in your mouth. That's the way. Now coming back to the new area, that is wine etiquette. Never turn a wine glass upside down to decline wine. Maybe you are not a wine lover, but never decline. Don't never make your wine glass upside down. It is not the right etiquette. It is more polite to let the wine be poured and not draw attention. You can do two things. One is that you just allow the wine to be poured on in the glass and don't say anything. Don't draw attention of others. Don't draw any attention of others. Otherwise, hold your hand over the wine glass to signal that you don't want any wine. So first thing, you are not going to make the glass upside down. Second thing, allow them to pour the wine. You don't make any noise for that. And third option is that hold the hand on top of your wine glass to indicate that you are not going to have wine. It should not be served as a signal. Okay. Hold your wine glass by the stem, not the rim. You can see the images. There are 4 styles are given. You can use either or, but these are the style to be adopted. So remember and practice for facing such kind of situations. Where a different wine is served with each course, it is quite acceptable to not finish each glass. Ensure that. If you know that there will be different kind of wines will be served in between every courses, so never consume the entire wine served in that particular course, because you know there will be multiple wines will be following in. So restrict your consumption. Try to drink only one spot along the rim of the wine glass. Doing so can improve the scent and appearance of your wine. You can see the image. Every time you try to drink from the same place, it has got multiple reasons. One is that it will develop the scent and appearance of the glass as well. Otherwise, you'll be getting lip mark surrounding the rim of the wine glass. That is not desirable. As a general rule, you should only keep the glass 1/3 full when drinking red wine and half full when drinking white wine. That is because of red wine is more complex in terms of flavor and aroma in compared to the white wine. That is why in case of red wine it is 1/3, and in case of white wine it will be half filled. In case of sparkling or champagne, you should keep the glass 3/4 full. And you can see this image. Sparkling wine, first one. Second one is white wine. And third one is the red wine. And because the rule and guideline is, this is a thing how the wine should be poured in different occasions. As you go to take a sip of your wine, direct your gaze into your glass instead of focusing on another person or object. You can see this image. While drinking, you should look straightway inside the glass, rather inside the bottom of the glass, not looking at other person or any other object. This is purely the wine etiquette to be followed while consuming wine in a formal situation. How to taste the wine properly as a host? I'm not going in detail about the service of wine, but you should also know that there are 5 rules for that, how to taste the wine. First one is see, second one is swirl, third is sniff, fourth is sip, and fifth is savor. What is it? First one is see. Tilt the glass when studying its appearance. Use the natural light when possible to get a good view of the color and clarity. What you can do, you can hold the glass little tilted position against some white towel or white paper to get the clarity and the color of the wine against the light. Second one is very interesting. Swirl the wine carefully for 10 to 20 seconds and it will help you if there is any unpleasant notes in the wine dissipate before you drink it. So hold the stem and or the base of the wine and swirl it and you get the chance to see again whether any dissipate of the wine is there or not, or you can see how the flavor is coming out. And then the next stage is to sniff. Hold the glass directly to your nose when smelling. And in the picture it is mentioned that how close your nose is inside the, almost inside the glass, tilting the glass very close to your nose and sniff it. When checking the scent of a particular wine, tilt the glass slightly and place your nose directly inside. Next is sip. No picture is shown out here, but sipping is you just try to listen properly that you sip at least 1 to 2 ounces of wine. Rinse your inside mouth with that wine and hold it for a few seconds to enjoy the flavor, aroma and bouquet of that particular wine. And if you are satisfied, consume it and you can spit out. If you are a wine taster, Then for multiple tasting comparison, you need to spit out. That is a different issue. That is not a part of fine dining. But here we are talking about just consume it and then savor. That means you accept that wine and allow them to serve it to all the people. Rather, you will be taking the initiative to serve it to your guest. Serving food, some certain guidelines. Pass food to the right. Always remember that. Transfer deep to your plate. Never have the habit of dipping your food into that deep and then having it. You take some deep, put it on your plate and then mix it with your food the way if you want to and then consume. Plates are served on the left. Dishes removed from the right. Pass the salt and pepper together. Whenever someone is asking for salt and pepper, if it is not within his or her range, definitely you are going to pass. But as I am asking for a salt, you don't pass it only the salt and pepper both. That is the etiquette to be served to that, passed to that person. Now dining style. If you are a host, wait until everyone is seated before eating. When dining with others, everyone should start and finish at the same time. That is a guideline. If you are a fast eater, try to pace yourself. So don't eat so fast in a formal situation. You could make the others feel uncomfortable if you finish before they do. So slow down your eating habits. Try to maintain a space with others whenever you are in a formal dining situation. When you are finished eating, do not push your plate away from you. Remember this, very vital. Take small bites, keep your mouth closed, and finish chewing before continuing your conversation. So while chewing, you're not going to converse with your associates there. You consume that. First of all, take a small bite, close your mouth and chew inside, eat it properly, and then if you want to converse, then you converse. But while chewing, it is a bad sign, bad habit that you are conversing with your people. Try not to gulp your food. It isn't very attractive. It can create accidents over there. Don't try to gulp your food. Chew it properly, small bite size, and then consume. Do not blow on food that is hot. It may happen that your soup is very steaming hot. So bringing it to near your mouth and you are blowing it, that is a bad habit. That is not the etiquette. So avoid and stop that. Wait until it cools or eat from the side of the bowl when having soup. Already I have discussed this point. Bread and roll should be broken with your fingers in small pieces and buttered one piece at a time. Cut several pieces of meat of main course at a time. Use your knife to cut lettuce if needed. You may see that there is a food where the big lettuce piece is served. You are going to cut it with a knife, not going to put the entire lettuce inside your mouth. And you will see that if you remember Mr. Bean, he can have that fun, that how funny it looks at. Do not use a toothpick or apply makeup at the table. That is a bad habit, absolutely. Say excuse me or I'll be right back before leaving the table. You have to always mention that. Excuse me or I'll be right back. Say something and then leave the table if you want to. Do not say that you are going to the restroom. Don't say this. Whenever a woman leaves the table, or returns to seat, all men seated with her should stand up. That is a courtesy to be shown to them. Do not season your food before tasting. That is a bad habit. That will give a negative indication towards the host that the cook has not made or the chef has not made the food correctly, or rather you are not trusting the quality and taste of the food. That's why you're adding this salt and pepper. So that will pass on the wrong message to the host. So never do that. Before eating, never season it. Be discreet if you have problem with the food. It may happen that while the food is inside your mouth and you got a bone, fine bone, some unusual things inside. It may happen. Remove the food the same way it went in on silverware. That means use the spoon, take it out from inside your mouth and put it on the plate. Not creating some peculiar behavior in front of the guest over there. Excuse yourself if you have to leave the table. You can always say that excuse me and you go out. Turn your head from the table when you cough or sneeze. Remember that. On the plate, in front of the food, in front of everybody, you cannot cough or sneeze. Always turn your head and do that. If someone uses your bread plate as their own, do not inform them for their mistake. So never inform them that you are taking a wrong food from a wrong place. Simply use your dinner plate. Do not use the bread plate on your right as a replacement. So as he is doing a mistake, you're not going to do the other way from the other's plate. Be quiet. So with this, we have come to an end for this session. And thank you very much for watching this session. Very soon, we'll be back with another one exciting lesson for you. And today's lesson, I believe that it will have some impact in your mind next time whenever you go for your formal dinner somewhere, for your business dinner. And I'll request you that initially go through these repeatedly whenever you get the time. Develop these habits in you, remember them, and practice whenever you get the opportunity. That will definitely enhance your personality, will make you more smart, and you will look more confident in front of your clients or the business associates. So, if you have liked this session, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And if you are having some comments, some questions, please put it in a comment box. So next time when I'll be back, definitely you'll see that already the answer will be given in the comment box, same comment box there. And once I'll be back, definitely I'll get back with another one exciting lesson for you all. Till then, thank you very much and goodbye. Take care.